Hey guys, day 3. Okay, so today we're going to totally close up a flap and then start working on the next one. So I reached out to a whole bunch of friends, builders, all of them, and asked them specifically about this end row here, the trailing edge, and if I absolutely must use proseal on that. And universally the answer was no. The guess is that proseal, being as it is like a 2-part vulcanizing epoxy rubber type stuff, the best guess was that they wanted you to use it because it provided some vibration dampening. But most seem to agree that just some good like 3M double-sided sticky tape works just as well. And in fact, 2 of them pointed out that I think it was the RV-10, and I think somebody on the forum said this, or somebody in my channel said the same thing. The RV-10 says to use tape. So I'm opting to go with tape as opposed to dealing with the sticky goop. I just don't see the point. Again, this doesn't have to seal. There's not going to be that much vibration out here. And ultimately, if it turns out I am wrong, the beauty of this location is I can always redo it later. So I went with sticky tape and am now going through and closing the bottom of this using my drill to drill the 319 BS holes. Speaking of which, by the way, this drill bit, this is a 7/64, but a lot of other people are saying that their plans say to use a number 33 drill. Mine do too. So get a number 33 drill bit for these pop rivets. It's funny because I remember using these. I thought I used some of these in my empennage, and it says nothing. I went and looked. I didn't see anything about a number 33 drill bit anywhere in the empennage plans. But at this step, where I'm now, it actually does say 33. So read ahead, I guess. But yep, fun. I'm gonna ramble at you now. I had a guy ask me the other day. He said, "Hey, what's the hardest part about building this plane?" It's never, what's the easiest part or what's the fun part. No, it's always about the hardest part. And I said, well, typically the hardest part is making these videos. He's like, why? You're just standing in front of a camera working. I said, which, well, that's true. And I said, because you open yourself up to comment. He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, the hardest part is when you put yourself out there and you give the opportunity for people who, they've seen a video once on YouTube, therefore they know everything, to comment and make obnoxious comments. Doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. He's like, oh yeah, I've seen YouTube video comment sections. Those are awful. He's like, you should turn those off. I said, well, no, because I think at the same time, for every one, well, at least on my channel, I've seen other channels which are awful, but on this channel, for every one comment that is maybe not helpful, there's hundreds where you guys are offering good advice. I mean, I think I saw somebody say the vibration dampening on this edge in the YouTube comments too. So yeah, that's what other people say too. So you were spot on, whoever you were. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I skimmed through them. I don't always read all of them. I also don't reply to every comment. I just don't have time. Sorry. I'm trying to. I go back. Usually I'm many videos behind. And I go back and try to catch up, or I'll try to write the comment down as something to be addressed in a video later. But even then, there are so many that sometimes I just miss out. So if you guys definitely have a question and I just haven't answered you for whatever reason, please do not hesitate to send me a private message. You can send me a private message in the YouTube comment section, or not in the comment section, but a private message to me, and I will answer it because there I'll actually get it, and I'll answer whatever question you have. I just don't always see all the comments because, I mean, there's a lot of videos on the channel, and the comments are always coming in on all of the videos, so it's not like people just, you know, ask questions or comment on the most recent video. You know, I'm getting an influx of lots and lots, so by all means ask, and I will do my best to answer for sure. Anyways, I could ramble at you guys forever while I do this. Probably, though, you guys would rather me speed this back up and get back to it. Oh, that reminds me. See, more rambling. I had a guy that asked the other day if I would ever consider doing a live stream while I was out here working. And first of all, God, that would be boring. Second of all, I don't really have internet out here. I mean, the internet I have out here is just cell tower. The terminal's right over here, but for whatever reason, I mean, I don't know, it's about a football field away, but for whatever reason, I can't get any of their Wi-Fi. Other people can, but I can't. It's just a dead zone out here. So no, probably will never do a live stream, just due to the Wi-Fi situation. So anyways, all right, back to it. Hey guys, if you like what I'm doing on this channel and you want to support me, if you jump over to my Patreon page, for as little as $1 a month, you guys can buy me a cup of coffee, which would let me know you like what I'm doing and encourage me to keep doing this. Or what you can do is when you buy your Vans kit, yes, you can do this too. If you use my builder number, which is down below as your reference, Vans will send me $100. No money out of your pocket. And again, it just lets me know you like what I'm doing. Thanks. So all along here, I'm doing a whole bunch of back riveting. And basically I'm doing exactly like this. I put my hand down to kind of push the pieces together. I start with a single hit directly straight down so that it engages the rivet on the back rivet plate, and then I angle it with the rest of the part. You can see here, this is a close-up of what that rivet I just set looks like. Pretty good, not bad at all, in fact. And then if you flip it around, because I didn't put any tape on it, you can see the edges are a little scraped up. So this is super close, and you can kind of see they're a little scraped up, but meh, whatever. It's not a big deal. And in the end, like I had said before, once I paint this sucker, you're never going to see all these. So yep, this came out nicely. I'm actually pretty happy with it. So someone asked me in one of the comments of one of the other videos if maybe starting with a smaller Vans product and making sure you like it and then stepping up to the RV-10 is a good idea. And that's actually what I had originally wanted to do. I thought I was going to start with a much smaller plane, reed cheaper, and then move up to the RV-10. And then my wife said, no, just get the RV-10 and go from there. The question was posed, is it a good idea? I don't know. I think if you're gonna build it, why not go all the way? But if you're not sure if you're gonna like it, then do you maybe get a lesser plane? And that's not the bag on the plane, but it's, you know, an RV-14, for example, is roughly, you know, a little less price-wise than an RV-10. Performance-wise, it's still a great plane. It's just not a four-place aircraft. So would you get an RV-10, 14 or an RV-9 or something like that, and then to see if you like the build and then sell that and then build the 10? Sure, you could do that, but I mean, you're talking about years, right? Unless you're going to come out here and work on this thing 8 hours a day and crank it out in, you know, a year or less, which apparently someone did this in like 3 months. I can't even fathom that. Unless you're going to do something like that, then you have to accept that you're just delaying how long it's going to take before you finally get your 10. Does that make sense? Sure, the initial cost of the 10 is more, especially if you get quick build wings. But at the end of the journey, when you're done building it, you have this awesome airplane and you don't have to start building anew. Now, having said that, I think, yes, no. Okay, every builder on this airport that has built an RV has built more than one. I know Lynn's built like 4. And I think a guy over here that has the 7, I don't think he's built a second one, but I know the guy that's built a 12, he's built like 4 12s. I mean, there's a bunch of different RV builders, and so repeat offenders are very common. And I've already decided I'm going to be building another one, and I'm still kicking around what I want to build. That's a whole nother conversation. So I'm going the other way. I'm going to build the 10, and then I'm going to build something else. So building something else and then building the 10, is that a good idea? Your mileage may vary. I mean, it really comes down to money. You know, this is an expensive project. If you can afford the 10, I would say go ahead and do it first. That way you have an awesome aircraft to start. Also, I would say consider resaleability. An RV-10, I think, would resale really easily. Even if you don't finish the kit, I think you could turn around and, you know, build, say, the empennage, and you're like, it's not for me, and then sell what you've built. I think you could probably get most of your money back out of it. But I don't know if that's true for an RV-14. I remember seeing in a magazine somewhere, and if I find it again, I'll link it up here, that the RV-14, the number of them that have built is only like 100 or 200. It's not very many. Whereas some of the other models, much more. So I would say demand probably plays into this consideration too for resaleability. You know, if you're going to build a 12, for example, right now those are hot, right? You could build one of those and probably flip it pretty quick. Whereas, you know, an RV-10, I think you could probably flip it, but maybe not a 14. I'm not sure. So that's something else to consider. My advice would be, though, if you know you're wanting to get to a 10, just save up for the 10. Now, I'm all about buying a second aircraft. Everyone should have 2, right? But yeah, this is such a long-term project. Get the one you ultimately want. I hope that helps. All right, guys, here we are. I've done it. I've got one flap completed, and I've mounted it on the wing. I also have aileron on the wing over here too. I've got it all put in. It's not permanent. I mean, it's just like cotter pins. I can pull those out and have it working. But this is how the flap works. And so the actuator's down on that end, and it will push this whole thing, you know, like so. Now it's real stiff, and so I think I need to put some lube or grease or something in here to get that to be a little less stiff. It could also be just because it's in this position, and so it's kind of heavy, whereas when the wings turn sideways, it will naturally kind of want to move this way. So this could just be the weight is due to the orientation of the wing right now. But there you go. It's in place. It's completed. I'm very happy with that. And then also I got this guy in place. The aileron's in place. And I don't know how much travel it's supposed to have. Probably not a lot. But that's done too. I'm super excited. Probably what I'm going to do after I finish the next flap, by the way, is pull the gas tank off and do another leak test on it. I want to make darn sure that this sucker is done, to include filling it full of gas, or at least partially full of gas. And then once that's done, it's time to put this this skin on so that I could work on my pitot tube. And then once that's done, this wing is finished. So, well, except for the end. It's never finished. It's endless. So anyways, that's where I'm at right now. Super excited I got this on. It all fits together. It's all even and smooth and clean, and I'm happy with that. And yeah, I don't know how tight, like I said, this is a little tight. I mean, I can put it right there and it'll sit there, so that doesn't quite seem right. So we'll have to talk to people in the know and see what maybe I need to do to adjust that. That's probably just a bearing in here. There are bearings in here on these guys that you build, and I found a piece of aluminum and I put them out of that. I wonder if they would be better off to be brass. It's not a washer, it's a bearing, which I thought was, yeah, just a bearing. It's sorry, it's not a bearing, it's a washer. Bushing, not bearing, not washer, bushing. Whereas you would think it would be like an actual bearing. So we'll see. But yeah, hey, this is one step closer, right? So anyways, guys, that's where I'm at, and now time to work on the next one of these. So while I continue working on the other flap in the background, I just wanted to point out that I did make, so the flap here, it was super stiff. Now I've made it so it's so much better. You can see here, if I just let go of it, it kind of flops. The three bushings that I had put in there, I just cranked those things down way too tightly. I just backed off those bolts, literally one crown, and super loose, and well, not unreasonably loose, but loose so that it's, you know, mechanically possible to move it, and I'm much happier with that now. So just little stuff. I had a number of people ask me about the last video in which you can actually see me drilling the hole and then putting the rivet in and running it home immediately without deburring. Those holes had already been pre-drilled. I'd already gone through the drill process, deburred them and everything. And this final time when I'm putting the drill through there, I'm just using it to line up. It could have been an awl, anything just to line up the hole. It's not actually cutting. I could have done the same thing with just a drill bit in my hands. It's just much more convenient to do it in the drill. Moreover, I think on some of those the drill was running backwards because again, it wasn't about cutting. It was just about getting all the holes to line up. So don't panic. Some of you are overreacting on the whole deburring thing. Deburring is important, but it's not that important. Well, while I continue disassembling the other flap in the background, this is where I'm going to call this one. Thanks very much, everybody. There's more to come. I'm going to continue working on the other flap. I should have it much more quickly. I think in the next video I'll have the other flap completed and mounted on the right wing. I am then going to go back to continue working on the fuel tanks and make sure they are fully leak tested. I'm going to pull the left tank back off the wing, and since I bought the van's little air pump leak kit, I'm going to test that, put a balloon on it. I've already done that once on the left one. I'm pretty secure in that it's leak sealed, rather. It's leak resistant is what I was going to say. But I'm going to go buy some fuel and actually pour real fuel in there, and I mean, there's no better way to test it than that. The other tank, I'm still working on it. I found a couple more leaks in the front of it. I'm having a dickens of a time with that one for whatever reason. Again, I always say, get the quick build wings, make somebody else suffer the leaking and the testing and all that other crap, because it just kind of sucks. But anyways, that's where I'm going to end this one. Thank you very much. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, if you'll push that like button down there, and if you want to get subscriptions and notifications as to when I release these things, push the bell button, and let your friends know too, because hey, the more people that watch this stuff, the more likely I am to continue doing it. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Sure, just as I start to do this, a frickin' airplane shows up. Because of course it does. Wait for it to shut down and then I'll start talking. There it goes. Went to idle anyway.